Alright, guys, so I'm gonna shed some light onto this new thing that's going on. Like, after Andrew Tate converting to Islam, he hadn't had any podcast like before, so yeah, he's just on a podcast with Mohammed Hijab, and he's talking about a lot of his stuff, and a lot of you were oh my god, why I'm having so much difficulties talking right now. I don't even understand. Anyway, so he's on Mohammed Hijab podcast today. He was, and I think it was few hours ago. So um, yeah, that's the thing I'm gonna talk about right now. Okay. So what we gonna do here is that I'm gonna just react to it, like what he's talking about after his post conversion to Islam. So let's see what we have to react to. Like, okay, just give me a moment. So we are almost into the video. I'm just checking everything is working fine. So okay. We are in the present. I gotta speed it up. I've been so used to with 2x speed, so I'm gonna just keep it like 1.25 or 1.5 x speed so that you guys can understand at least, because a lot of you have problem with understanding the words or discussion that they are having if I'm going with 1.5x speed or more. So yeah, but I still try to keep it like around 1.5 so that you can at least have an idea of what's going on. All right. Of a cultural icon, a physical specimen, a controversialist, a master orator, a champ. And we've also got Andrew Tate. That was smooth, I like that. I was sitting there thinking, I'll take this introduction, I'll take this. But thank you. How are you doing? I'm good, to you? You're good, yeah? Congratulations on your Islam, bro, man. Thank you, my friend. You know, the Muslim community is really welcome. It's interesting. Yeah, actually, the skin I was watching on just turned off. Like, I was watching on the live comment and stuff on my iPad, but my iPad just got turned off. Okay, I'm just gonna check the chat over here. Okay, so yeah, like he's talking about his conversion and stuff like that, and also he's talking about general stuff that can be helpful for your life. And I think it will be an interesting topic to react to. So yeah, pretty divided. I've had a whole bunch of support. Yes. Obviously, there's been some people who are not quite pleased about the idea. I think when you have a passionate subject and people that are truly engulfed in an idea, you're going to have some degree of polarization. I think that maybe when you look in the online space, that might be your impression. Actually, on online, you have got a lot of problem. Like, people are quite anonymous about their identity, so that's why they get some amount of power, like this hate power that they have. Like, in person, if you meet somebody, I don't know what I hate you, like why I hate you. So yeah, they don't even know what the hell they're talking about. So yeah, that's the really um that's a really important thing to consider. Like, they will not hit you in person, but they'll say, you are so bad. Like, they will be on the comment section, you are bad, you are doing this, you are doing that. Like, and that's why the problem is that we do not off like we do not try to get the idea of what's going on. Like, hey, this person can be saying something that is controversial, but let me have a look at it. Like, let me look at the long format, let me look at the points that he is making. People are so close-minded that they don't even want to listen to the other person. You have certain kinds of belief, you are like doing things that are having a negative impact, like because you are not open to the idea of others. Like if you are not listening to the other person's ideas, then definitely you are going to have trouble. And if you're listening to that idea, maybe that idea is great, and maybe it doesn't align with your idea, but you can still have some kind of thoughts over it, and you can make a good judgment based on that idea, like in the future. So people are doing a lot of stuff that are kind of like not acceptable. Like I don't think that you should be like close-minded, you should be open-minded. Yes, if you are like let's say I have a different belief than you, and then I'm giving you some kind of arguments, and then there are logical points I've made, and you are like, no, I don't believe in that, I don't believe in logics and stuff like that. That will not help you on a long run. And that's why you need to understand that, hey, let me have a clear talk with this person, let me understand something, let me acquire some knowledge from this conversation. But people are not willing to acquire knowledge at all. Like this is some kind of a BS, and that's why I do not like this thing about Western society nowadays. Like in the past, people were really open to like listen to each other, and like post 9/11, people still nowadays that I want the day after like after 9/11, the day they were so close to each other, they were like, hey, are you doing good, are you okay, like do you need help? Like people were this good. But nowadays we are so divided that we don't even care about each other. Like you have different belief, you should be castrated from the society. What is that? Like people don't like each other. Like you can be a Republican, and then you can still have friendship with somebody who is a Democrat. Like I don't even know, like what are the political parties are right there in the United States. But I'm not into politics at all. So yeah, that's the thing I was trying to make, that you can have different beliefs, but still you can be friend with someone. Like I do not believe in certain ideologies, but I'm I have so many friends. Like I do not believe some of the things that Christianity preaches or teaches us on a daily basis. But don't I have Christian friends? Yes, I have a lot of them, and I um, try to respect their ideologies. Like, hey, you can have your ideas, and you can still be good with people, and you don't have to accept my ideas. We can be still friends.
I mean, that's definitely not the case. I would say the vast majority of people, 80, 90%, are completely happy about this. And it's just that the minority have a very loud voice. Well, that's exactly.
Yeah, I have seen some of the posts. Like I have subscribed to the this person's channel, Mohammed Hijab. So he's an interesting guy. He makes some good arguments. So yeah, I have watched his contents, and some of the guys were like so yeah, from there, like I got some recommended video over there. I have watched, like this conversion was like was taken positively from that religious group. So
yeah, that's the whole problem with the internet as a whole, not just Islam, but the internet as a whole is about vocal minorities that look much larger than they are, right? Yeah. And I agree with you, and I'd like to.
Actually, the problem is that negativity. Like people are so focused on negative stuff that it doesn't help us to grow. Like I think it is just how would you say, like it's just taking us back to that, hey 16th century. Like, hey, what you are doing? Like we have the technologies, we should be open to learn something, we should have the capacity to learn from someone else, and that's how we can grow.
I like to hear that, but the reason I know what you're saying is true is because it's the same even in my case in other subjects. Online, I have all this, some kind of hate or people trying to disagree with me, but when I walk through life, I have 30,000 interactions with people, and not a single one's ever been negative, ever. So it's
Yeah, it's really interesting. That's the point I made. Like, if people can hate me online, but when I see them in person, nobody's hating me. So it's just the vocal minority that are online who are just telling their, yeah, you were so bad. You were doing this. You were doing that. Like, it's so negative. It's destroying the community. Like, what? People are still like in person, whoever I talk to are still taking me positively, still trying to support me throughout my journeys. And yeah, that's a good thing. Like, we have to be accepting of each other.
It is crazy.
It's not like accepting their beliefs, but I should be friends with somebody who still disagrees with me, but that doesn't mean that I will hate that person, like if he disagrees with me.
Minority is amplified on the main thing to note, though, is that Islam, it completely wipes away your sins. I mean, most of the companions of the Prophet
Okay, I'm gonna skip this part.
coming and giving you a bit of a heart. So that's the first thing. Obviously, fantastic to hear and good to know, and it's interesting because I've spent very little attention. That make you feel? Well, yeah, that's always and believes and does good works. Then God will yubaddilullahu sayyi'atihim hasanat. That God will change their bad deeds into good deeds. So how does that make you feel? Well, yeah, that's obviously fantastic to hear and good to know, and
That's interesting.
it's interesting because I've spent very little attention.
Oh, we have said the same thing. But anyway, I'm not a big fan of Andrew Tate. Like, I'm just reacting to this video because people want me to, and I agree with some of the things he says. Some of the things he says I disagree with, and I do not know like if he said something controversial recently, but in the past I would certainly say that he said some things that are disagreeable and some of the things agreeable. So yeah, I would stand on my points up until now.
Very little
So
time
yeah,
paying attention to the negative comments because I don't in general. But on this particular subject, a few people were forwarding me like the profiles of somebody or of the people who were unhappy with my conversion, and they weren't living very Islamic lives themselves. So it's
I think he's gonna take a hit. Like, in the West, people still thinks that they're bad, or like I don't think that Christian, like real Christian or real Muslim dudes are bad at all. Like they're going along with each other. Like they're doing fine with each other. Like they're making friendship with each other. So yeah, they're doing fine in the community. But some of the people who are vocal, they'll make things like so complicated that hey, Christian cannot be friend with Muslim dudes, or Muslim dude cannot be friend with Christian dude. It's kind of like a propaganda to divide us, so that we do not unite to solve certain kinds of problems that we are facing in the West. So yeah, that's a thing we should keep in mind, that hey, they have certain ideas, we have certain ideas, let's unite the let's unify the ideas together, and then work on the ideas to modify it maybe, and then maybe using that ideas we can solve certain kinds of problem in the community. But people are like trying to, there are some vocal minority who are trying to divide us online, and they're very vocal about it because they do not like the problem to be solved in the West. So that's the thing.
it's kind of funny to look at, you know. Exactly, bro. I wanted to start with something which I think the whole world wants to hear about, which, to be honest with you, affects our sector as people who want to speak about Islam and call people to Islam defense. It was a vicious attack, a brutal attack on you. And social media organizations banned you. They never gave me grounds. They never sent me an official email. They never gave me an official reason. They just delete your profile and you just can't log in anymore. The reason they don't give you an official reason, I think, at the end is because they're scared in a court of law that they're going to be stuck to one reason, right? So if I decide to take them to court, they want to be able to flip-flop and make up reasons as they go. They want to change their terms of service and terms and conditions proactively. They want to change it afterwards. So, this one here? Oh, that's right. Well, me, I don't know who this is. Oh, okay, sorry, yeah. But so they never gave me an official reason for banning me. So I don't truly understand and truly know. I mean, I understand the reason they've come up with. I know that reason is false. I have my own theories on why they banned me. But them themselves have never told me why. They just for example, YouTube. Most people, producers, know that YouTube have community guidelines, right? And they have copyright strikes. So, for example, if one breaks the rules, if you like, of engagement, then they're given a strike, and then a second strike, and I think you're telling me that this process was not taken with you? Oh, absolutely not. No, I had no strikes. When I first got banned, the initial ban was on Meta. It was on Facebook and Instagram. In perfect synchronization was a large press release by the media, which gave this reason to justify banning me, which was, of course, false. And I knew the ban was coming. We can talk about that in a second. But when it first hit, I then, by coincidence, got one strike on my YouTube channel, With that community strike.
It was some strike for some old video about me talking about masks, saying that masks were ridiculous, a COVID-19 strike.
I actually don't understand like why he was banned still. Like people should be given proper reason. Like, hey, if you are doing something wrong, give them a strike. Let them at least let them have at least 2 or 3 days on YouTube. Like, hey, we are giving you a chance and delete your videos. Otherwise, we will give you 3 strikes and then you are done on YouTube. I don't think that was a proper way to deal with these situations.
Yeah, on a very
situations like this.
old video, they gave me a strike, which obviously prevents you from posting for 7 days.
Yeah.
So I filmed a reply to my initial ban, and then after 5 days, I think, as the strike was coming to an end, just before I could post, they deleted the whole channel without explanation, without an email, nothing, just deleted all of it, wiped it off. And the channel wasn't even in my name. This is what's funny about this. Yes, I was on the channel, but the channel was in the name of the producer, so it wasn't even officially my channel. My brother's channel got wiped. Like, they just attack and just delete everything. And yeah, these community guidelines are so ridiculously vague that they don't even mean anything.
Okay, so if I own a channel, sorry, if my brother owns a channel and then I work on that channel, you should give them a warning first. Maybe my brother will get me fired from the channel. It's still his channel. He's investing into that channel. He's working on that channel really hard. And why YouTube is doing this? It's ridiculous. Like, you have to warn them first. Like, hey, these are the videos that are red flag for your channel. So yeah, delete this video. Otherwise, we will have to take actions. Give us a proper reason. I mean, I'm believing in Andrew Tate over here. I'm not saying like he's right every time, but he should be given enough time to delete those videos, those things that he has said, like at least 7 days maybe. Like, I don't know why policies are so complicated to understand. I don't even know.
Trying to read them is like reading garbage. It doesn't make any sense.
I've been following the arguments online about this kind of thing. And obviously, one of the key tenets, if you like, of Western civilization is
Oh, I cannot see the spikes.
freedom of expression of speech.
Yeah.
And the main counter argument is that no, but YouTube and all these other companies, they're private companies. But why I would respond to that is that, well, these are
Actually, YouTube also is trying to make money, so whatever will help them to make money, they will try to do that. So I don't think that's a big deal, but the problem is again that you should be giving us warning before deleting my channel. Maybe I will change the way I make my content. Maybe I'll change the way I speak. Maybe I'll change the wording so that it makes sense to the people, like whatever the message I have for the communities. I'm trying to build a better community, and I understand there are policies that will impact a channel, but don't just delete a person from the internet. That's a bad way to deal with problems.
private companies, but in many
Like, you are not just literally like you're not cutting down the grass, like grass you see on the field, and you cut them and it grows back again. It's like that. You were just cutting down the grass and then it'll grow back. You are not solving the problem. Like, if you want to solve the problem, then you have to use medicine, like certain kind of medicine that will literally wipe out the problem. So you have to have policies in place so that people can understand what's going on.
ways, they have a higher ability to uphold freedom of speech and expression than even the governments do.
Yeah.
So this is actually it's like an Orwellian state. Like, we're looking at something which is the thought police. Isn't this concerning that you have these elites, whoever they may be, who can take these arbitrary decisions and delete somebody from YouTube?
Yeah, it's worse than concerning. This is why I talk about the Matrix all the time in my videos. I try and explain that we are living in a false version of reality. We're living in a computer-generated simulation because the computers, which is the social media companies, are generating a version of reality which simply isn't true by deleting one entire side of the argument, by purporting facts which happen to be false, by deleting information which happens to be true, by making sure the algorithms choose what.
I do not know about that, but I can certainly say, like, if a particular company has the intention to like propagate something, then definitely they have the power to do it, and that's really dangerous. Like, we should have policies in place on the internet. I'm not agreeing with Andrew Tate over here, but what I'm saying here is that we should have certain kind of policies in place so that people cannot abuse their power. Like, I'm not saying YouTube is doing that or Twitter is doing that, but what I'm certainly saying is that you have to have certain kinds of laws so that this can protect the user. Like, there are users who have controversial take. That doesn't mean they should be taken down without gi- giving them proper notice. So yeah, that's the thing I should say, that our law should protect the user, and also they should have a clear um, rules and restriction that how we should proceed. So yeah, that's the thing.
Information you see and what you don't see, they're literally affecting the world people live in. And there's people who are walking through the world today with a mindset and a view on life, which is the result of false information, the result of a construction by these social media companies. So we're living inside of a matrix. We're living inside a very
I'm not agreeing with that. Like, there are honestly information that are really helpful. Like Google is like Google owns YouTube, right? Or is it a different company? I think Google owns YouTube. So the thing that they're doing is that there are people who are talking the truth and they're not delayed it. So I don't think I don't agree with that point over here, but I will certainly say that our laws should protect the users, and there should be clear policies that will allow us to be protected by the law. Like, law should, like, the law and order system should have certain things, certain influence on the system, so that they cannot just take us down without having a proper reason. I would say that, but yeah, that can happen. For example, I don't even know, like, if certain things are true online, but I wanted to make an argument, but you see, like, one-sided argument is really problematic. Like, you don't even know who is speaking the truth, who is telling a lie. So yeah, but I don't want to believe in that, like what he said, like, right now, because I mean, I have to have certain kinds of evidence to, like, see that, hey, he's telling absolute truth. Like, there can be some truth into that point that he made, but I don't think that certainly we have clear evidence or absolute evidence of what he's saying over here. So I wanna have a, like, I will not say something that is going to be controversial because I don't have the evidence to prove that point. So yeah,
false version of reality.
And that's in many ways
false version of reality. Like, yeah, there are some governments who are involved in making certain things public, going wild on the internet, and then there are certain things that they are hiding. It can happen. I'm not denying the fact that is not possible, but I'm not even saying that it's happening all day long. It's something that I do not try to have an opinion of, because I do not know the thing clearly.
can be more pernicious than
Okay, I'm gonna escape this part.
States. Like, I don't think freedom of speech exists anywhere on the planet, but I do think inside of some states, you know what you can talk about and you know what you can't talk about, and it's pretty clear, right? If I were to go,
Yeah, I do agree that we have a limited freedom of speech. If in the West we have, I mean, we can speak more freely than other countries. That's true, but we do not have full freedom of speech. So we have limited freedom of speech, and I do agree with the point that we have more freedom of speech, like, we can speak more freely than other countries in the West. So yeah, there
to
is
Russia, for
that.
example, I would know what I could say and what I couldn't say without getting in trouble, right? But in the Western world, we pretend that's not the case, and I think that often they'll let you discuss many different subjects until you get to a certain point of influence, and that's when they get afraid of you. It's not just what you say, it's how powerful your voice is. I think the biggest problem with me is not the things I was saying, it's the fact that I became so monumentally popular. Yeah. And if you're monumentally popular and you have a huge proportion of the youth and a large contingent of the population which are interested in your words, and you haven't sold your soul to the agenda, then they see, okay, he's a large counteraction to our methods and what we're trying to do here, so we have to go. So I think also you can be the victim of your own success in the Western world.
So let me ask you this final question on this point, which is, you call it the matrix, we can call it the liberal world order, because the LWO, or whatever you want to call it. I mean, it is. It's certainly a method of control. They've got their own ideologies. You know, liberalism, for example, second wave feminism. Still, you know, they're putting it, they're shoving it in our faces. And obviously, you've said things which are totally antithetical.
The problem is that when politics gets into school, then there is problem. Like school shooting, these are result of politics, and politicians shouldn't get involved with the students in the school. Like you should be like keep a distance with the school. Like I don't understand. That's why a lot of things are happening, I believe. But I'm not saying that it's 100%. I'm open to learn, and I think if somebody has a better argument, then they can talk to me about it. I'm open to listen to. But somebody said to me that it can be politics which is related to the school shooting, but I'm not certainly sure. But I want to believe that, but I'm not I do not have the evidence to believe in that like 100%. So yeah, I'm gonna be a little more vague about that. Like, hey, I do not know exactly what's going on, but if politics is involved, then they should detach politics from school system or anything like that. But if that's not the case, then there is no problem. But I think then we have to focus on the crime. So yeah.
To that, which in many ways could be argued to be the reason why they banned you, to be honest with you.
Well, I'm against this whole idea of liberalism.
Okay, I'm not.
They're diverse and tolerant, but they want you to say the same things and believe the same things. As soon as you step outside of their pre-approved script, instantly they're no longer tolerant and they're no longer interested in diversity of thought. So the first thing is very hypocritical, and secondly,
there are people out there who doesn't accept your belief, and they will say, "Hey, you hate us for not accepting our belief." Then it can be said the same thing can be said about you. Like, hey, you are not also accepting his ideas or belief, so you hate them. No, the thing is that we have to have difference of opinion so that we can understand each other better. We can have a better life in the community. We can build peace together. We can have peace between different culture and different communities, and that's the thing we should be keeping an eye on.
I've learned in life that the easiest way to get people to accept bad things is to do it with a Trojan horse. You find some way to disguise it. Even the Senate does this. Even governments do this. They'll say, the Green Bill, this is to save the environment. And then somewhere on page 84, and they just sneak it in, right? So it's very difficult. If you vote against saving the environment, you're terrible. And the media talks about how you didn't want to save the environment. And you have to sit there and try and explain on page 84, the MPs are trying to get an extra 45% money. And you're already on a back foot. And this is how they do it. They do everything with Trojan horses, and it doesn't, like you just said, second wave feminist. It sounds like such a good thing that it's very difficult for someone to sit and say, no, I am an intolerant person. Now you look bad. But when they say tolerance and push tolerance to the point where absolute degeneracy must be your own children seeing things they shouldn't see, you can be tolerant of the destruction of society. You can't be tolerant of degeneracy. You can't be tolerant of your own children seeing things they shouldn't see. You can be.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like recently I've seen that some of the thing that are getting into children's book, and I don't accept that. Like, it's literally unacceptable, and it should be banned from school, elementary school especially. Like, a lot of things are getting into the elementary school's book, so that's really alarming for us. We should take precaution, like we should take proper action against this kind of stuff. So yeah,
be tolerant of the destruction of society. If they're going to sit here and say that, no, tolerance is the best thing ever, and then Trojan horse it and destroy the way humans interact, then I don't think tolerance is a good thing.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. They've hijacked the phrase, and they've used it in their own context. And there was one particular political thinker, I think it was Mumbai, who said something very interesting. He said that the West has not acted morally consistent. They've only acted strategically consistent. Yeah. And so it's tolerance when it's within your own borders or within a certain subsect of people, but then it becomes whatever it becomes a colonizing mission or civilizing mission when it comes to the Iraq War, for example.
Completely. If you look at all of Western foreign policy, I mean, they'll talk about we need to.
It's getting really controversial over here. That's why I'm just trying to skip some of the parts, because also I'm not educated enough to talk about them. So I accept my own flaws that, hey, I have to educate myself to talk about this kind of topics.
And try to just start making dinner. I'd be like, whoa, who are you? Like, be tolerant. No, I will not be. Who the fuck is this guy? Like,
it depends on what food is cooking.
Well, I mean, there has to be a line in the sand. Yeah. And the reason they keep talking about tolerance, diversity, inclusion, tolerance, it's not because they care about different people of different races or different beliefs. Certainly not beliefs, because you're not allowed a different belief.
Yeah.
That's the number one thing.
Yeah.
But it's because they want you to just sit down and swallow the pill and allow yourself to be brainwashed and not stand up for anything. That's all they want.
Isn't that
I think standing up for your belief is a good thing, but that doesn't mean you should be radical and you should be just getting rid of people that you disagree with. It's like more it's more like, hey, I do not accept the thing that you are trying to preach, but what I'm gonna say, I'm gonna respect you and you can walk away from here. I don't wanna hear anything that is bad about my belief. You can walk outside and you can have your day. That's what I am for, and I think that's what we should always be looking forward to do, because if you don't do it, then there will be problem, because people will have no different ideas, and people will have similar. If they have similar ideas, then how are we gonna learn or bring different invention to the life, and it will be really problematic in the future.
ironic that they use tolerance as a way to try and manipulate you?
Completely. That's what exactly. What they're trying to do. In fact, it's funny. I'm trying to think of an idea which is purported and accelerated by the mainstream media machine that isn't an attempt on manipulation. Like every single thing that they jump behind and they try so hard to get you to believe in is a manipulation attempt. I'm trying to think of.
I think old-fashioned media is trying really hard to like whatever will get them higher TRP, or like whatever will get them a good amount of money, they will do that kind of thing. So that's the biggest problem of traditional media, and that's why YouTube is um, on the rise, because people can talk more freely than traditional media, because they have limited access to it, and also you have to have certain kind of influence to get a TV show. So also, like, if you look good or handsome, then there are many things that depends uh, when it comes to like getting a job in traditional media, and then working over there to talk about your ideas and what you believe in, and you can share it. You don't force other people to believe in, but what traditional media is doing is that they're trying to force people nowadays. A lot of them, I'm not saying every one of them, but a lot of them will try to like guilt trip you. Like, they will try to portray certain ideas that are superior to your beliefs. So yeah, that's why people are like, hey, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm doing this kind of thing in a wrong ways, maybe I should accept their ideas, maybe I should be following what they're advising us to do. So yeah, that's the thing, is the biggest, is one of the big problem.
One that isn't. Yeah. Why else would they waste their screen time? Yeah. Like, they're sitting there. These people are smart enough to understand that the internet's coming, and people are spending more time on independent medias, and people are learning more information from each other, and they're slowly. I mean, I don't want to go into the subject. We can talk about the last few years. They still have a grip on the world because they proved it, right? But with the common cold, but still, they're sitting there going, okay, we have this mass media machine. The average person only watches 6 minutes of our propaganda a day. They can't waste those 6 minutes, my friend. Like, they need to go, what's our agendas? Let's get to the point. What do we need people to believe about X, Y, Z? They can't be sitting there telling us the truth. That's a total waste of time.
Absolutely.
And also, like, what is emotionally triggering? So yeah, you have to be really careful about that. Like, if something triggers you emotionally, you should check your check on yourself, like, hey, this is emotionally triggering. And whenever you are emotionally triggered, you should ask this, like, why this content exists in the first place. Oh, okay, maybe they have an agenda, they are trying to propagate something into our brain, and they should be, they are doing this because they want to make money, and also they want to use our emotions to make more money in the future. So yeah, you have to ask those kind of questions so that you understand it more. And I'm not against the YouTube policies or anything like that. I'm not against um, uh, Twitter or any other platform, but what I will say, that there are certain policies that are not being implemented properly, and they should have a look at it. Like, they should really focus on how to implement the policies properly, because otherwise we cannot have peace in the society.
I want to ask you now, because this is the hot topic, especially in the Muslim community, about your conversion. Yeah. So tell us the story, like what happened exactly.
Well, I think a lot of people who've been following me for a while understand that I've been very respectful of Islam for a long time.
Yeah, sure.
I was born in a Christian country. I was raised as a Christian, and I've always been very respectful of Islam. And it's become more and more obvious to me and more pertinent that Islam is the last religion on the planet. When I talk about Islam, because I'm new to it, I'm a little bit careful, right? Because I'm new to it. I'm certainly not a scholar. There's so much I need to learn. I know I'm on a learning journey. I'm not here to sit there and talk scripture. I don't know those things yet. I'm here to learn.
Yeah.
But
And we're here at your assistance.
thank you, brother. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
But it's just for me, it feels like the last religion on earth. I feel like there's no other religion. People say to me, "Why did you convert?" And I said, "I don't really feel it as a conversion. It's almost like I knew God was real, and now I've become religious." And they say, "Well, you were religious before." I was like, "Religious before how? Christian? What does Christian mean?"
I'm gonna skip that part.
And also, Islam very closely reflects my personal beliefs. Through my personal life, I've learned that if you don't have standards and you're not a strong person who's prepared to defend his ideas, you'll be crushed.
Yes.
And we look at most religions in the world today which are not prepared to defend their ideas. What's happened to them? They're just
Actually, yeah, I've seen some of my Muslim friends were like literally will talk about their ideas and they'll defend their ideas like, hey, you cannot just insult our religion, you cannot just do this, I'm not disrespecting your religion, then why you are doing this to me or doing this to our religion? And you should have some kind of respect towards each other. Otherwise, how can we have peace in the community? And they will be really open-minded. Like, hey, don't just disrespect us. Like, you can criticize if you do not like something, but disrespecting somebody is the worst type of crime you can do. I personally think that, like, no disrespect, they're really and I really like the idea that there is one of my friend who is really respectful to Muslim dudes, and Muslim dudes are also respectful towards him. So yeah, it was really interesting to see him talking to people and talking to people with different beliefs.
it's getting crushed. And now we have Christianity as an idea, which is different. Yeah. And then accept everybody no matter what. And hopefully we can keep the church door being someone that people...
Yeah, like church thing is really complicated right now. I don't know why they're not believing in the Bible properly. Like, they will take certain things from the Bible and they will preach it. On the other side, they will throw some of the ideas from the Bible out the door, and this is really unacceptable. I don't think that this is how Christian should proceed to the future. They should look at their books and respect it, and they should not be like, hey, I'm gonna reform everything, I'm gonna change everything. No, I think Christianity is a beautiful religion, but still there is things that are going on in the wrong direction. So yeah, people should be really aware of it, and people should read their book. Like, I'm not a Christian, I'm not preaching Christianity or anything like that, but people should read the Bible to learn something about God, to learn something about Jesus Christ, to learn something about people who are mentioned in the book. And this is a great way to have knowledge about religious people who came in the past. So yeah, I'm not saying they're 100% accurate or 100% false. No, I'm not saying anything like that, but you can learn something from it.
Yeah. God to me is someone that you have to go out of your way to prove something to. God to me has red lines. Yeah. Like, God to me...
Yeah, obviously God has red lines. Like, you cannot just believe in something BS that is going to impact our society in a negative way. So yeah, we have borderlines, and we have to respect that. Like, God is intelligent. God is almighty. He is all-knowing, and he knows what is best for us. So he has suggested so many things that we can do on this planet to keep ourselves in a good position, so that we don't go through depression and stuff like that. So yeah, that's the thing I consider going to play a vital role in the future. Those who are for those who are really religious, and they're going to have a good time in the future. But I don't think that those who don't believe in God will feel as happy as those religious dudes, like, because when you're constantly focusing on your dopamine, like, hey, I'm gonna have fun time, I'm gonna have fun time, then this will like, you can have fun time, obviously your dopamine will rise and then it will go down and then you will feel sad. So yeah, you can spike up your dopamine so many times, and you can, it can also go downhill. So yeah, so that's the thing you should keep in mind. You have a limited amount of happiness, like, you can have a limited amount of happiness. So that's why it's really good to have that dopamine level on the baseline, like, hey, I'm not gonna have a fun time throughout the whole day, I'm not gonna have a bad time the next day. No, I'm not interested in that. I'm gonna keep it on the baseline, and um, I'm not gonna have any negative emotions. So yeah, that's the thing.
Represents the Islamic faith. The Christian God, to me, I don't see God. I can't explain. I don't see anything.
Ecstatic and extremely happy. It's great.
There are Christians who are really religious and honest, and I think they're really happy about their life. So yeah, I mean, those who truly believes in Christ. Now, there are people who are who does not believe in Christ. They'll say, I believe in Christ. I do this. I do that. I'm just living with a bunch of dudes. Or like, there are people like that, and also there are people who are sleeping with a bunch of women. But they'll say, I'm a Christian. I'm a true Christian and stuff like that. No, you're not a true Christian. The Bible teaches you not to be those kind of guy. Adultery is unacceptable.
It's a great thing for everyone, honestly, because, you know,
Fornication is unacceptable.
just anyone coming into Islam is you know, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is better than the world and everything in it. Yeah. But imagine now somebody of major influence. I mean, you're the most Googled person on the planet. I'm not sure if he's still
I think Putin might have beat me as of last week, but I think it's between me and Putin at the moment. But I don't want to lose to Putin. Putin's the big G. I don't want more enemies. Like, it's fine, Vladimir. You can have it.
I never thought I'd hear you saying that statement.
Yeah.
Putin beat me last year.
Yeah. I think we're did something to most people.
But no, it's definitely something beautiful, and a lot of people have. You know, you'd be surprised at how many women as well. Like, because obviously the accusations of misogyny and stuff.
It's interesting to know something like this. So
You know, but a lot of women, alhamdulillah, especially in the Muslim world, they're absolutely happy. In fact, let me tell you a story. Just before I came here today, one particular woman, I can't remember her name, she was working as a student in London, and actually my friend told me that she was kicked out of school because they had this campaign against you in the schools. I'm not sure if you're aware of it.
what the heck? You guys are campaigning against him in the school? Like, you waste your time doing this? Oh my god! Like, you are.
Yeah, this was part of the cancellation. I didn't know this.
Yeah, so in British schools, they said, you know, if you say anything good about if you say anything good about this person, or you have to report it or prevent anything. And if you say anything, you know, you have to kind of combat his extremism or whatever it is, right? So because when you became Muslim, she abstained from doing that. She said, I can't really do that because, you know, Islamic laws and it's backbiting and it's got honor in Islam and so on. And unfortunately, they fired her from that.
What the heck is going on, bruh? I didn't know that, actually. I'm very unaware of it. That yeah, things like this are going on in the UK. It's so funny. Like, people are wasting. Like, I do not waste my time learning about people too much. Like, if something is necessary, I'll just check online and then I'll read something that are important and I'll just move on. That's how my life works. But people are so interested about Andrew Tate that they is taken into the school curriculum so seriously like this. I didn't expect that at all.
See, this is the level of encroachment we're talking about here. So, and this shows you that the level of fraternity that exists. And not only the fact that, you know, when you're looking at Twitter or whatever social media, it's not a representation of what's really happening.
Of course, and I mean that's.
I think the social media is that vocal majority, like a vocal minority. So people who are vocal, they may have some extreme ideas and they're very vocal about it. So that's why they're gonna go on the comment section and then type, "Well, you were so bad, you were misogynist," and stuff like that. No, like, you have to use these words. Like, it will become meaningless if you're using that word to describe any man. So that's not how you should proceed, and that's why you have to be careful about how you choose your words, because otherwise you will have an impact. Like people will people will give you no credit for using that word in the future. So that's why you have to be careful about how you use your word, and just use it properly. Like don't just use it for cloud. This is a really bad way to um, undermine certain things. Like this word, if it loses its value, then it will be a problem for the society. So that's why you have and then people will try to invent new word for this, but that there is a lot of problem. Okay,
That's crazy.
so that's why you have to be careful about how you choose your words to describe somebody.
What's most crazy is, yeah, the fervor behind this idea that I'm somehow extremist is truly clown world. Like I've sat as a professional and analyzed my content and understood which things can be taken out of context and which things were said in a way.
I'm starving. I'll have to end the live stream. Oh my god. But what I'll say though, what I've watched so far, like guys, you can go ahead and watch the full live stream. I think I have shared enough info regarding this live stream. I think they did a good job talking about some of the things that they're um, having trouble or maybe something like that. So yeah, whatever I have understood, I've tried to speak in this live stream. I'll hope to catch you guys soon, maybe today, maybe tomorrow. I haven't decided what will be the next topic. Depending on the topic, I'll come live. But if I come tomorrow, I'll be coming in the morning Pacific time. So I live in British Columbia, Canada, so that's why I do live in, I try to say that it's Pacific time. Okay. What I'm trying to discuss, I'm feeling, yeah, I should have a coffee right now because I'm feeling so sleepy. Oh my god. So yeah, guys, you can subscribe to the channel and you can super chat and do super thanks, and this helps the channel to grow, and you guys can support the channel for whatever amount you want to support with. So yeah, you can do this, and hopefully I'll catch you guys soon. And if you enjoy the video, then definitely like the video, smash the like button, share it with your friends and family, and I hope I can bring some good content in the future, and I'll try to, and yeah, let me know on the comment section below that what kind of content you want me to react to, and I hope that I can bring some good content in the future, and hopefully I'll invite Andrew Tate one day to talk to him. Like I disagree with some of the things he says, I agree with some of the things he says, so it's kind of a thing that we should have a discussion. Yeah, we should have a discussion. Yeah. Hey Andrew Tate, if you're watching this, let's have a discussion one day. And yeah, that's it for today. I'll hope to catch you guys soon. And if you are watching this, if you know Andrew Tate, let him know that I want to interview him. I want to interview a lot of people in the coming days. For example, Jordan Peterson, Elon Musk, maybe some other guys as well. So let's see what is waiting for us in the future. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'll hope to catch you soon. Catch you guys soon.